Number 1, the Bugatti Tourbillon. And at number 1, we have the 2026 Bugatti Tourbillon. I know what you're thinking. Bugatti makes hypercars, not luxury cars, but the Tourbillon is genuinely both, and it represents the absolute peak of what's possible when you combine cutting-edge performance engineering with traditional luxury craftsmanship. This is Bugatti's replacement for the Chiron, and it's a completely different approach to the hypercar formula. The headline is the engine, a brand new, naturally aspirated 8.3-liter V16 that revs to 9,000 RPM and produces 1,000 horsepower without any forced induction. Bugatti partnered with Cosworth to develop this engine, and it's the first clean-sheet V16 design in over 50 years. The engine note is apparently incredible, a stratospheric scream that sounds like nothing else on the road. Combined with 3 electric motors, 1 on the crankshaft and 2 on the front axle, total system output is 1,800 horsepower. That's 300 horsepower more than the Chiron Supersport, and this thing weighs 400 pounds less thanks to extensive use of 3D printed titanium components and a carbon fiber monocoque. The performance numbers are absurd. Bugatti claims 0 to 60 in under 2 seconds, 0 to 124 miles per hour in under 5 seconds, 0 to 186 miles per hour in under 10 seconds, and a top speed of 277 miles per hour. Those numbers would have been unthinkable even 5 years ago, and the Tourbillon achieves them while meeting current emissions regulations thanks to the hybrid system. But here's what makes it a luxury car: the interior. Bugatti hired Swiss watchmakers to design the instrument cluster, which is an entirely analog display made from over 600 individual components machined from titanium and sapphire crystal. There are no screens in the driver's line of sight, just mechanical gauges that display speed, RPM, and essential vehicle information. It's a deliberate rejection of modern car design trends, and it's absolutely stunning. The center console features a retractable display for navigation and vehicle settings, but it hides away when not in use to preserve the analog aesthetic. The seats are hand-stitched leather with a diamond quilting pattern, and the steering wheel is machined from a solid block of aluminum and then wrapped in leather. Every control surface is either machined metal or hand-finished wood, and the build quality is genuinely on par with a Rolls-Royce. Bugatti is building just 250 units over the next 5 years, and the base price is $4.1 million. Every unit is already sold, and secondary market prices are expected to exceed $6 million for early production cars. This is the car that redefines what a hypercar can be. It's not just about speed or technology. It's about creating an object that's so beautifully engineered and meticulously crafted that it becomes a piece of automotive history the moment it's completed. And that's why it's number 1. So, there you have it, the top 10 luxury cars for 2026. These are machines that represent the absolute peak of what's possible in automotive engineering right now, and several of them are the last of their kind as the industry transitions to electric powertrains. The V12s are dying, the naturally aspirated engines are disappearing, and even the V8s are getting hybridized or replaced entirely. Here's my question for you. If you had unlimited money and could only choose one car from this list, which one would it be and why? Are you taking the Phantom for ultimate luxury, the Tourbillon for its engineering insanity, or something in between? Let me know in the comments. And if you made it this far, hit that subscribe button because we've got more deep dive content like this coming every week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Number 2, Rolls-Royce Phantom Series 3. Number 2 is the 2026 Rolls-Royce Phantom Series 3. The Phantom is the flagship, the ultimate expression of Rolls-Royce luxury, and it has been since 1925. The Series 3 update for 2026 is subtle, because when you're already at the top, you don't need to change much. The updates include new LED headlights with laser high beam assist, redesigned 22-inch wheels, and updated software for the planar suspension system, which now uses a second camera to track road imperfections in real time.
The 6.75-liter twin-turbo V12 remains unchanged at 563 horsepower and 664 pound-feet of torque because the Phantom is never about performance numbers. This is a car that weighs 6,000 pounds and uses over 400 pounds of sound-deadening material, including double-pane windows and sound-absorbing headliner fabric. The cabin is so quiet that Rolls-Royce's engineers had to retune the clock mechanism because test drivers complained they could hear it ticking while the car was moving. The interior is fully bespoke. Every Phantom is custom-built to the owner's specifications, and Rolls-Royce's bespoke collective will accommodate basically any request, within reason. Want the gallery, which is a glass-enclosed section of the dashboard where you can display artwork or custom designs? Done. Want the wood veneers sourced from a specific tree on your property? They'll send a team to harvest and mill it. Want the leather stitched with thread made from silk produced by silkworms fed on a specific diet? I'm not joking, they've done that. Number 3, Mercedes-Maybach S680 Haute Voiture. At number 3, the 2026 Mercedes-Maybach S680 Haute Voiture. Mercedes-Maybach has been doing these limited edition couture collaborations for the past few years, and the 2026 Haute Voiture takes the concept to another level. This is a 150-unit limited run based on the S680, which uses a 6.0-liter twin-turbo V12, producing 621 horsepower and 738 pound-feet of torque. The V12 is a dying breed, and Mercedes has confirmed this is the last generation of the V12 S-Class, so if you want one, this is your last chance. The Haute Voiture package includes a two-tone paint scheme developed in collaboration with a high fashion house, which I'm not allowed to name yet because the partnership hasn't been officially announced, but let's just say it's one of the big French luxury brands. The paint uses a tri-coat process with gold flake in the clear coat, and the color shifts depending on the light angle. It's genuinely stunning in person, and the paint job alone takes over 2 weeks to complete. The interior is even more excessive. The seats are trimmed with semi-aniline leather with Napa leather bolsters, and the rear seats get calf leather cushions and silk floor mats. Yes, silk floor mats. The center console has a hand-engraved metal inlay depicting the Paris skyline, and the door panels feature hand-painted artwork that's been sealed under multiple layers of clear lacquer. The Burmester 4D sound system has been recalibrated specifically for the Haute Voiture's interior materials, and it includes speakers in the headrests that create a personal sound field for each passenger. The Airmatic suspension has been retuned for an even softer ride, and the Maybach driving mode prioritizes rear seat comfort above all else. The rear seats recline up to 43.5 degrees, and there are heated and ventilated calf rests, footrests, and lumbar supports. The base price is $285,000, but with the Haute Voiture package and typical options, these cars are selling for around $340,000. This is the car for people who want the prestige of a Rolls-Royce, but prefer German engineering and modern technology. Number 4, Bentley Mulsanne 6.75 Edition by Mulliner. Number 4 is a bit of a cheat because Bentley officially ended Mulsanne production in 2020, but Mulliner has been building a limited run of 30 Mulsanne 6.75 Edition continuation cars for 2026, and they are spectacular. The Mulsanne was Bentley's flagship before the Flying Spur took over, and it represented the absolute pinnacle of traditional British coach building. The 6.75 Edition continuation cars are being hand-built at Mulliner's facility in Creo, using original tooling and leftover parts from the final production line. Under the hood, you've got the legendary 6.75-liter twin-turbo V8 producing 530 horsepower and 811 pound-feet of torque. This engine traces its lineage back to the original 6.75-liter V8 that Bentley introduced in 1959, and while it's been updated over the decades with fuel injection, turbochargers, and modern engine management, the basic architecture is the same. There's something genuinely special about driving driving a car with an engine that has 67 years of heritage behind it. The power delivery is smooth and relentless, and the exhaust note has this old-school V8 rumble that modern engines just can't replicate. The interior features unique 6.75 edition badging, hand-stitched embroidery commemorating the engine's heritage, and a piece of the original Mulsanne production line embedded in the center console. The seats are trimmed with Mulliner spec leather, which is selected from the top 5% of hides and features contrast piping and diamond quilting. The wood veneers are grand black veneer, which takes over 30 hours to sand and lacquer by hand. Each car is bespoke to the customer's specifications, and Mulliner will accommodate basically any request within reason. These continuation cars are priced at $385,000 each, and all 30 units sold out within 72 hours of the announcement. This is a car for collectors who understand that they're buying the last of a lineage, and values are going to appreciate significantly
over the next decade. If you manage to secure one of these, you bought a future classic.
Number 5. Rolls-Royce Ghost Series 2. At number 5, the 2026 Rolls-Royce Ghost Series 2. Rolls-Royce calls their Ghost their post-opulent car, which is a hilarious way of saying it's slightly less ostentatious than the Phantom, but make no mistake, this thing is still outrageously luxurious. The Series 2 update for 2026 brings updated LED headlights with illuminated grille, revised bumpers, and new wheel designs, but the big changes are under the skin. The Ghost still uses a 6.75-liter twin-turbo V12, producing 526 horsepower and 627 pound-feet of torque. The 0 to 60 time is 4.6 seconds, which is meaningless because this car is not about acceleration. It's about delivering power so seamlessly that you can balance a champagne flute on the dashboard during full-throttle acceleration, and yes, people have tested this. The planar suspension system is genuinely impressive from an engineering standpoint. It uses a flag-bearer system, which is a camera mounted behind the Rolls-Royce badge that scans the road ahead and preloads the dampers before you hit an imperfection. Combined with the self-leveling air suspension and the upper wishbone dampers which decouple the chassis from the wheel during impacts, the ride quality is genuinely unlike anything else on here. Rolls-Royce claims it's the smoothest car in the world, and while that's obviously marketing, I've driven this back-to-back with the S-Class and the Flying Spur, and it is noticeably smoother. The interior is fitted with over 300 pounds of sound-deadening material, and Rolls-Royce claims the cabin registers 10 decibels quieter than the previous Ghost, which was already quieter than most recording studios. You can option the Starlight headliner, which has 1,340 fiber-optic lights woven into the roof lining, and yes, it's gimmicky, but it's also genuinely beautiful. The wood veneers are book-matched and hand-selected from trees that have fallen naturally, and the bespoke audio system is tuned specifically for each individual car based on its interior materials and configuration. Base price is $365,000, and this is the car for people who want a Rolls-Royce but refuse to find the Phantom too ostentatious. Number 6. Range Rover SV. At number 6, the 2026 Range Rover SV. Land Rover's Special Vehicle Division has completely reworked the Range Rover for 2026, and this thing is absurdly luxurious. The SV gets a unique front fascia with larger air intakes, a redesigned rear bumper with quad exhaust tips, and 23-inch forged alloy wheels is standard. The paint options include SV bespoke finishes, which take over 400 hours to apply and cost an additional $30,000, but the depth and complexity of the finish is genuinely artwork. Under the hood, you've got a 4.4-liter twin-turbo V8 making 615 horsepower and 553 pound-feet of torque. The 0 to 60 time is 4.4 seconds, which is quick for a vehicle that weighs 6,000 pounds and has the aerodynamics of a brick. The air suspension now has 6 different ride height settings, and the Terrain Response 2 system can automatically adjust throttle response, transmission mapping, and differential settings based on the surface you're driving on. This is still a legitimately capable off-road vehicle, which none of the other cars on this list can claim. The interior is where the SV really justifies its price tag. You can option the SV Signature Suite, which replaces the rear bench with 2 individual seats separated by a full-length console, with a refrigerator, champagne flutes, and deployable tables. The seats recline up to 40 degrees, and there are heated calf rests and footrests that deploy from the front seat backs. The cabin air purification system uses Nano-X technology, which Land Rover claims removes 99% of airborne bacteria and viruses. And while I can't verify that, the cabin does feel unusually fresh even in heavy traffic. The Meridian signature sound system has 35 speakers and 1,700 watts of power, and it's tuned specifically for the SV's cabin acoustics. Base price is $240,000, and this is the car for people who need genuine off-road capability but refuse to compromise on luxury. Number 7. Active damping system that can adjust compression and rebound in real time based on road conditions and driving style. You genuinely can hustle this car on a back-edge technology. E-Performance uses a Formula One hybrid setup with a 6.1 kilowatt-hour battery pack mounted over the rear axle for perfect weight distribution. You've got a 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8 making 604 horsepower, plus a rear-mounted electric motor adding another 201 horsepower for a combined 804, which stiffens everything up for track use, and both extremes actually work. Inside, you get the new MBX Hyperscreen, which is a 56-inch curved glass panel that houses 3 separate displays. The build quality is finally back to where it should be after Mercedes had those issues with the previous generation's interior materials. The Nappa leather is sourced from the same tannery that supplies Hermes, and the Burmester 4D sound system has 31 speakers and weighs 143 pounds, which is ridiculous, but it sounds incredible. Base price is $182,000, and this is the car for people who want cutting-edge technology wrapped in traditional luxury without the brand baggage of a Bentley or Rolls-Royce. Number 9. Bentley Flying Spur Real World Driving, but that's enough to make this thing a viable daily driver if you live in a city and have home charging. The active all-wheel drive system can decouple the front axle completely in electric mode to save energy, and the 48-volt interior still features Bentley's rotating display, which hides the 12.3-inch touchscreen. Price is $255,000, and it can easily climb to $320,000 if you go wild with the bespoke options.
Number 10. Audi RS Q8 Performance. And yes, I know what you're thinking. An Audi SUV at number 10 on a luxury list feels wrong, but hear me out. This thing shares the entire MLB Evo platform with the Lamborghini Urus, which means you're getting the same 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8, but Audi's retuned it for 2026 to push 640 horsepower and 627 pound-feet of torque. That's a 0 to 60 time of 3.5 seconds for a vehicle that weighs 5,300 pounds. The Quattro all-wheel drive system can now send up to 85% of the power to the rear axle under hard acceleration, which gives it a genuinely tail-happy character if you disable the stability control on a private track. What makes this a luxury car, and not just a fast SUV, is the interior execution. Audi's new MMI touch response system is finally responsive enough to not make you want to throw the car into a lake, and the Valcono leather with diamond stitching is legitimately premium. The RS Sport seats get heating, ventilation, and massage functions. Plus, there's a 23-speaker Bang & Olufsen 3D sound system that actually reproduces engine notes accurately, which matters if you care about acoustics. The carbon ceramic brakes are a $9,000 option, but they're necessary if you're actually going to use this thing the way it was intended. Base price is around $128,000, which undercuts the Urus by almost $100,000, while giving you about 90% of the same performance. It's the value play on this list, if you can call any six-figure SUV a value.